What? Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, great. My phone died. Oh, that woman. Hey there, Jayson Gaddis with Empowering Relationships, Episode 2. Today I want to talk about resentments. Resentment. What does that mean? And I'm going to talk about how to break free from this quiet, subtle, sneaky resentment monster. Because this can be a monster. If we don't get a hold of resentment soon, the idea with resentment is it grows over time, a little bit like a cancer in someone's body, and it gets really gnarly for people and very hard to deal with. So it's really important that we start to face the resentments in our life. So I'm just going to give you 2 simple statements you can make around how to get out of this resentment trap that you're in and how to address and face this resentment monster that most people don't want to deal with. And it usually comes out sideways, and it gets really nasty in relationships. People hang on to stuff for years with their resentments. And again, it doesn't have to be that way. So 2 statements coming up here in a minute. First, though, we have to explore what in the hell is resentment? What does this mean? If I'm resenting you, what does that really mean? Well, when we take a closer look, it means that something happened in the past between you and I'm pissed about it. I'm holding on in some way, shape, or form around that. And I've got baggage now. And every time I see you, or every time you do that little thing, it flares up my resentment. And usually it comes out as anger. And anger that's passive-aggressive, little jabs at my partner, sometimes directly, but although it's very rare that it's direct, usually it's passive-aggressive or it's aggressive with energetic shoves to your partner, leave me alone, that kind of energy. And it's all in our body language and our tone of voice. And we've been doing it that way for a long time. I mean, you can spy these couples all the time. When a couple snaps at ridiculously simple things, that's a sign of resentment. When you just snap at the most trivial little activities and comments that someone makes, you snap. That's resentment. So resentment, in my experience, is designed to get us back in our integrity with ourselves. It's similar to shame or guilt. When we feel resentful towards someone, usually what we do is we blame them, and we have it, our story and the whole thing is, God, if they didn't do that thing years ago, I wouldn't be feeling this way. So another example is if I'm married and I work all the time, I'm the provider, and you get all this free time with the kids or free time because you don't have a job. Well, I'm going to resent you. If I have some baggage around this, I'm going to resent you for having all this free time. And I'm going to basically feel jealous, envious, and all of that. But instead of talking about it openly, I'm going to hold quiet pissed offness toward you, and I'm going to energetically shove you away, right? And that doesn't help our connection at all. So there's really 2 statements that we have to make here to bust through the resentment monster. And here it is. Once again, all we have to do is tell the truth. Very simple in theory, but people go years without telling the truth in their relationships. Why? Because they're scared, as we talked about in episode 1. And being scared is normal. That's what happened to us when we were kids. We couldn't totally be ourselves. So it makes sense, right? We have resentments. So our 2 statements are this. Statement number 1, I am resenting that you blank. It's that simple. I resent that you blank. So write that down. Bring that into your relationship. And then the next statement number 2, is I turn it on myself. I flip it around and I look in the mirror and I say, I resent myself because 3 years ago, I chose to be quiet and I chose to not speak up and tell you about my feelings. I chose to get quiet and shut down around this whole dynamic of you having all this free time and me working all the time. And I keep choosing to work all the time. So I'm not doing anything about our dynamic. I choose to stay stuck in it. So when I do statement number 2, bam, I have all of a sudden empowered myself, and now I'm likely to move towards freedom because I'm taking responsibility that I betrayed myself. 3 years ago, I just shut down around this whole thing, and I lost myself, and I got quiet, because that's what I do in my life. I don't speak up. So resentment is designed to overwhelm you, upset you, and have you feel miserable to the point of you speaking up. It's beautiful. It's intrinsically brilliant. So you need to turn toward your resentment if you want any different relationship results here, and thank it, because it's asking you to get back in your integrity, to stop betraying yourself, stop abandoning yourself, and get honest with yourself, number one, and number two, your partner, or whoever you're with. Could be family or friends also here, business partners, etc. So 2 statements, all right? Take these into your life and actually do something right now. Make a commitment to yourself that you're going to go tell the truth. Hey, I resent that you, and I resent myself because, check it out, I abandoned myself in our dynamic. And I'm done, statement number 3, extra credit, I'm done today doing that, and I draw the line in the sand. Okay, so hopefully this has been helpful here at empowering relationships, and I look forward to the next session.